हेलो एवरीवन। बहुत दिनों के बाद मिल रहे हैं हम और बहुत दिनों के बाद मैं वीडियो अपलोड कर रही हूँ। आज से रोज़ वीडियोस आएंगे रिलेटेड विद ऑब्वियसली केमिस्ट्री। अगर आपको कोई टॉपिक चाहिए, कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए रिलेटेड विद केमिस्ट्री कि मैम ये टॉपिक के ऊपर वीडियोस बनाओ प्लीज़, तो कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर लिख देना। टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन एसिड एंड बेस। जनरली एसिड बेस सबको पता है, उसकी थियोरीज़ है वो भी पता है, लेकिन वो थियोरीज़ क्या है, वो कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट है एंड उसका वेटेज कितना है, वो सब ये वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे। एसिड बेस थियोरी जो है हम डिटेल से पढ़ेंगे। हाउ वी कैन डिफाइन एसिड, व्हाट इज़ एसिड, व्हाट इज़ बेस। ओके, सो इन दिस video we are going to study definition of acid. Okay, then next point is what pH scale, then difference between weak acid and weak base, and strong acid and strong base. Okay, so how we can conclude that particular acid is strong in nature and that any particular acid is weak in nature. So there are some criteria. Depend on that criteria we can say that particular acid is strong and some acids are weak in nature. And titration part, that is acid base titration. So in this video I am just give rough idea about the titration, means rough idea about the equipments, and in the next video I am going to tell you whole description about the titration. Okay, how that whatever equipments are used, their work, and how the titration is carried out, all that I am going to tell you in the next video. So in this video I'm just telling you what is the main difference between acid and base. Okay, acid means what, and base means what, and how we can differentiate them. So directly jump into the main point, that is acid and base. So definition is what? So there are three theories: Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowery theory, and Lewis theory. Okay, so the acid base definition totally depend on this theory, and this theory is very important for 11th standard, 12th standard, and BSc, MSc, whatever. If you are in the set net exam, you are going to prepare for that competitive exam related with chemistry. So this theory is very important and very basic, and we are going to study what is Arrhenius theory. So all these theory are that is nothing but acid base theory, and some scientists that propose this theory related with acid concept and base concept. So acid theory means what? Basically in Arrhenius theory, acid means what? Acid is a hydrogen ion donor. Okay, hydrogen ion donor is called as acid, and base means what? Hydroxide ion donor. So ignore this word. So donor is there. So hydrogen ion means what? This is hydrogen. Okay, and here we are talking about hydrogen ion. Okay, hydrogen ion means H plus, and here Arrhenius theory, base means what? Hydroxide ion. Hydroxide means what? OH. OH, hydroxide. Okay, and hydroxide ions means what? OH minus. So Arrhenius theory is depends on the ions. If acid is there, so presence of hydrogen ion, and if base is there, so there is maybe presence of there must be presence of the hydroxide ion. Okay, but that acid means what? Hydrogen donor, and base means what? Hydroxide donor. For example, HCl is there. So HCl, when we dissolve HCl into the water, or we add suppose few drops of as HCl into the water, there is what? Formation of H plus ion. Okay, H plus ion. So ion is formed. Ion is formed is what? So there is water. Okay, if ion is there, formation of the ions, so there must be the water. Okay, water is compulsory. So whenever we are adding HCl into the water, there is a dissociation of the ions. So formation of H plus. H plus means what? 101%. There is what? Acid. Okay, why HCl is acid? Because it donate H plus ion. Okay, and for example, whenever we are talking about base, so NaOH. Why NaOH is a base? Because NaOH donate OH minus ion. So donor H plus ion means acid, so this is acid, and donor OH minus ion means this is base. Another example, for example, an NH4OH. So after dissociation there is formation of NH4 plus and OH minus. So hydroxide ion. So here is a presence of hydroxide ion means what? This is a base. Okay. So Arrhenius theory, this theory is related with hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Hydrogen ion donor acid, hydroxide ion donor base. Next concept is what? Bronsted-Lowery concept. So this is scientist, again this scientist proposed another theory. That theory is related what? Related with proton. This theory is related H plus ion. Okay, so Bronsted, this theory is related with H plus ion. Always remember. And Arrhenius theory is related with H plus ion and OH minus ion. H plus ion donor acid, OH minus ion donor base. But Bronsted-Lowery theory, that is related with proton only. That theory is related with proton only. Look at here. Proton. Proton donor acid, proton acceptor base. So the species or the substance which donate proton, the substance which donate proton or proton donor is there, so that particular substance or that particular species is what? Acid. Any substance, any component which accept proton, so that nothing but what? That accept, the species or substance that accept proton, that is nothing but what? That is called as base. Okay, so there is what? Difference between acid and base. With the help of example you can easily understand. For example, water, H2O. So H2O donate H plus ion. Okay, and proton acceptor, for example, ammonia, NH3. So NH3 ammonia. So here so proton donor H2O and proton acceptor NH3. So here H2O is donate proton. How H2O donate proton? When H2O, you know that water is what? Amphoteric nature. Amphoteric nature means what? Water having both charge, positive and negative always. So when H2O in the means so many molecules are present in the water. So before going to that example, I'm just tell you. So in the Bronsted-Lowery theory, acid is a proton donor. Look at here. Acid is what? Proton donor. And base is proton acceptor. So this process involves direct transfer of the proton from the acid to the base. Means what? Proton is transferred from the acid and base is accept that proton. So that is what? Give and take relation. It is like a give and take relation. So this is also called as what? Conjugated acid base pair. Okay, so conjugate acid base pair means what? When acid donates proton, it become its conjugate base, and when base accept the proton, it become conjugate acid. For example, with this example you can easily understand. Suppose HA, suppose this is just an example, suppose this is HA. Okay, and B means what? Base. Okay, so this is what? This is Lowery-Bronsted acid. Okay, why? Because this donate H plus ion, and this is what? This is base. Why? Because this accept proton, and formation of what? A plus HB. So here what is happen? HA means what? Acid and having proton. Okay, and HA donate proton. So here proton donor is nothing but what? Acid. So according to Lowery-Bronsted theory, proton donor is acid. So here HA acts as acid and B means what? Base, which accept the proton. So here Hb is what? This is B means what? Base. Why? Because B accept the proton. So here I'm H2O. Okay, so H2O is what? H2O is amphoteric nature. Okay, water having both charges, positive and negative. For example, look at here, when formation of H plus OH minus. So water is actually proton donor, but as well as it is proton acceptor. Okay, depends on what example we are taking. Okay, so here water is acts as both. Okay, it depends on the situation. It is acid and it is base also. That's why water is called as what? Amphoteric. So here I'm taking another example, HCl, okay, plus H2O. So here tell me what will happen. So here water accept that proton and formation of what? H3O plus Cl minus. So here HCl donate proton, that's why HCl acts as an acid. H2O accept that proton, so H2O acts as a what? Base. Formation of H3O plus and Cl minus. Okay. So in the previous example, water acts as a base. Now I'm taking another example with water, so H2O plus ammonia. Now look at this reaction very carefully. When H2O react with ammonia, formation of what? This ammonia having lone pair, okay, and that ammonia accept H plus ion, means here ammonia acts as a proton acceptor. So formation of what? NH4 plus, okay, and OH minus. So here NH3 plus means what? NH3 means what? Ammonia acts as a base. Why? Because it is a proton acceptor, and acid acts as a donor, means acid is what? Proton water is what? Proton donor. Okay, proton donor means what? Proton donor means what? Acid by default, according to Bronsted-Lowery theory. So here H2 acts as a proton donor. H2 acts as a acid. Why? Because it donates the proton, and that proton accepted by what? Ammonia. So formation of what? NH4 plus and OH minus. So look at here, means water acts as a both acid and base also. Depends on what? Which another reagent we are going to use. If we are using acid, it means HCl. So there is what? Reaction between that HCl and water and formation of what? Cl minus and H3O plus. So that time water acts as a proton acceptor. But here whenever we are using with ammonia, okay, having lone pair, so such type of reagent is used. So that time water acts as a base, water acts as acid, and water donate proton. Okay, water donate proton, and that's why water acts as a acid in this case. So depends on what reagent we are going to use. So that time water acts as a both acid as well as base. That's why water is called as amphoteric nature. Okay, so this is all about water. Now here Bronsted-Lowery concept is totally based on proton donor and proton acceptor. So you remember this thing only. Proton donor is there, whatever acid is there, whatever water is there, or any chemical is there, but that's what proton donor is there. So that is 101% acid. Okay, proton donor means acid, proton acceptor means base. You have to keep in your mind that proton donor acid, proton acceptor base. Okay, now next concept is Lewis. Okay, Lewis theory. So Lewis theory is what? That is related with electron pair. Okay, so first theory, Arrhenius theory, related with hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. Next Bronsted-Lowery theory, second theory is what? Related with proton donor, proton acceptor. Okay, first related with acid, H plus ion and OH minus ion. Second Bronsted-Lowery theory related with proton only, and third theory is related with electron pair donor. So this is very important word, electron pair donor. So electron pair donor is there. Okay, electron pair donor is there. So that is what? Base. And electron pair acceptor is what? Electron pair acceptor is acid, and electron pair donor is what? Base. So Lewis acid here, this is what? Electron pair acceptor. Okay, electron pair acceptor. So Lewis acid is electron deficient. Okay, that's why they accept the electron. Always remember, Lewis acid is what? Electron deficient species. Electron deficient species. Okay, seeking for electron, or we can say they are what? Try to gain the electron. Okay, that's why they are what? Electron deficient, and that's why they require electron. That's why we are called as a electron pair acceptor is acid. Always remember, acid is what? Electron deficient species, and base is what? Electron rich species. Okay, base is what? In the Lewis theory, base is what? Electron pair rich species. Electron pair rich. Why? Because they having lot of electron, that then and then only they can donate. Okay, so electron rich species means what? Base, and electron deficient species means what? Acid. Okay, that's why acid accept the electron pair, and that's why base is what? Electron pair donor. Okay, so how with the help of example you can easily understand. For example, any metal cation is there, any metal cation, for example Fe3 plus is there, or copper 2 plus is there, or Ca2 plus is there, any metal. Okay, any metal, they are what? Having positive charge. Metal always carry positive charge. Okay, so metal having metal with positive charge. Okay, they are what? They are electron deficient, and they required electron. So metal cation always acts as a what? Acid. Always remember, metal cation or metals, okay, in their ionic form, metal in their ionic form always electron deficient, they act as a acid. Okay, another example is there. For example, electron deficient molecules. Here we are talking, first is what? Cations. Okay, second thing is what? Electron deficient molecule. For example, BF3. Okay, and AlCl3, aluminum trichloride. Okay, so all these are what? Electron deficient molecules. Okay, the molecules with the central atom that having fewer, or we can say less than 8 electrons, their octet is what? Incomplete. That's why they are electron deficient molecule. Okay, they are why they are electron deficient? Because the central metal atom, their octet is not complete, their octet is incomplete. That's why what? That's why they are what? Electron deficient molecule. So they act as a what? Acid. Okay, so first thing is what? Related with metal cation, they act as acid. Second is what? Electron deficient molecule. Okay, they also act as acid. Then next is what? Molecule with expanded octet. Okay, so for example, they having lot of electrons. So for example, SiF4, so they also act as what? Acid. Proton is what? Obviously proton is what? Electron deficient species. So they H plus ion is also act as acid. Why? Because they are electron deficient. So electron deficient, or in another way we can say electron pair acceptor, they are what? They all are acid. Now next thing is what? Base. How we can define base? With the example you can easily understand. Here I already told you that is cation are what? Acid. Why? Because they are electron deficient. So similarly base means what? Anion. Okay, anion means what? They are electron rich species. For example, Cl minus ion. Minus ion means what? They having extra electron. Okay, they are electron rich species. That's why. So anion come under base category. Next is what? If we are talking about neutral molecules, so NH3 having lone pair. Okay, lone pair is there. If neutral species is there or molecule is there, so they must having lone pair. Okay, if lone pair is there, so they act as a what? Lewis base. Lone pair means what? Electrons, that is nothing but electron. Water is also acts as a base. Why? Because having lone pair. Okay, so neutral molecule with lone pair acts as a what? Lewis base. And acid means what? Acid means they having cation, neutral molecule is there, so their neutral molecule the central metal ion, they having suppose incomplete octet. So they all neutral atom with incomplete octet molecule, they also act as a acid. And the base means, in the case of base, anion acts as a Lewis base. And second thing is what, the neutral molecule is there, but neutral molecule must suppose neutral molecule is there and neutral molecule having lone pair, so they are come under base category. Okay, that is nothing but what, example of base. For example, ammonia is there, water is there. Why both act as a base? Why both act as a Lewis base? Because they both having electron. Okay, lone pair means what, that is nothing but electron. And electron means what, electron rich species. Okay, electron rich, or lot of electron is there, and obviously they are capable to donate electron pair. So in this way, three theories are explained. I explained all these three theories. Arrhenius theory, always remember, Arrhenius theory related with what, hydrogen donor and hydroxide donor, or we can say H plus and OH minus, both are donor, acts as a donor. Okay, so H plus is there if they donate H plus ion, so acid. If they donate OH minus ion, base. Bronsted-Lowery theory related with proton only, proton donor, acid. Proton acceptor, base. Proton means what, H plus, so H plus donor, acid, and H plus acceptor, base. H plus donor, acid, H plus acceptor, base. Lewis acid. Okay, Lewis acid, Lewis concept or Lewis theory depends on what, electron pair. Arrhenius theory depends on H plus ion, OH minus ion. Bronsted theory depends on H plus donor, H plus acceptor. Lewis theory based on electron. So electron pair acceptor is acid, and electron pair donor is base. Okay, all anions are electron pair donor, that's why that are what, come under base category. And all cations are Lewis acid. Why? Because they are electron deficient. Okay, so in this way all three concepts are I cleared. Okay, now next point is what, pH scale. pH scale means what, oh, so this is called as pH scale, ranging from 0 to 14. Okay, so 7 means neutral. So this is like this, I hope you